What's going on, DSG? It's your boy DarrnellBradley back at y'all another video. And today, it's time for a death battle. We here. We got Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer, DC versus Marvel death battle. Now, I know a bit more about Martian Manhunter, than I know about Silver Surfer. I don't know my knowledge base about either one would make crazy, but I'm just more knowledgeable about Martian Manhunter. So based on that, our preconceived bet, we gonna say Martian Manhunter, you know what I'm saying? That's where we at the beginning, you know how we do this. And then after we get all the information, we'll make a more educated guess. And then we got our bet set, bro, and let it ride. That's how it is. That's how we do it around here. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media. We hear that ain't further ado. 3, 2, 1, click.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Netflix's One Piece and Shady Rays.
Let's go,
Martian
Martian.
Manhunter,
Hey.
DC Space Ranger.
The Silver Surfer, Marvel's sentinel of the spaceways.
The depths of space hold secrets beyond our comprehension, but these sage superheroes have seen more of it than any of us could ever hope
Sorry,
to.
trying to fix
He's
my
Wiz and
microphone.
I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Sorry. I was listening
For as
though.
long as mankind has looked upon the night sky, the stars have beckoned the brave to search the unknown and explore its endless wonders.
Like Dr. Saul Erdell, who's kind of a doctor in the same way Dr. Pepper is a doctor. This guy's got no formal education, but that didn't stop him from messing around with some ancient tech he stumbled upon.
He was desperate
Because why not? You know what I'm saying? It's there. Let's fuck with it. Sorry.
to live out his boyhood dreams of exploring the cosmos. So with the tech's advanced capabilities, Erdell created a machine that would bring the cosmos to him.
He pointed the machine at Mars, pushed a button, and hoped for the best. And it worked. Erdell summoned a real-life Martian right before his very eyes.
Yo, hold on, bro. See, I didn't know Martian. I don't know his origin story like how it is in the comic. This is my first time seeing this. Like throughout the different like movies and animated stuff, I've seen several different renditions of his origin story, but I have not seen this one. The origin, you know what I mean? And so can you imagine for real? Just imagine for real, you at home, right? You chilling, taking a shit or something. Then all of a sudden you are just beamed to another planet instantaneously. Yo! Rude! Alright, let's go.
So remember, kids, when in doubt, just push buttons. Never
Oh
fail.
my god.
The mysterious and powerful alien known as J'onn J'onzz, the Martian Manhunter, immediately started using his incredible powers in front of the Doctor, like mind reading and shape-shifting.
Which was
He had to
just
know what the
tip of
hell was
Erdell's
going on.
discoveries. Turns out, Martians have complete control over their bodies and can transform into practically anything, like a freaking dragon, an exact duplicate of Wonder Woman down to her central nervous system, or even a totally generic green monster that loves choco cookies.
They can also shoot lasers from their eyes, fire psionic blasts, turn invisible, and phase through anything.
They got a lot. They do got a lot. Like I used like whenever I see somebody like knock him down in a show, I'm like, I feel like he had outs. You know what I'm saying?
Even Green Lantern constructs and force fields that Superman couldn't get through.
On top of all that, they've got a crazy healing factor. John has regenerated back from a single limb, tiny pieces, or even a puddle of goo.
This display of
Goose
awe-inspiring
sentience.
power overwhelmed Dr. Erdell's poor human heart and caused him to die
What's
in
that?
the Martian's
Oh.
arms.
Dang. My boy he just surprised him to death. He surprised mans to death. Oh goodness. All right.
Well, at least he accomplished his goal before he bit the red dust, right? Anyway, John used his goal before he bit the red dust, right? Anyway, John used his shape-shifting abilities to hide amongst his new world by assuming the identity of a recently deceased
From which where he was kidnapped to.
detective named
By
John
accident.
Jones. God, what a crazy coincidence, comic book writer, you clever man.
Detective J'onn J'onzz lived a double life on Earth for many years, solving cases and helping as many people as he could from the shadows. But eventually, he stepped out, revealing himself to the world, and helped found the Justice League of America.
And John definitely holds his own in the supergroup. He once pulled the Earth alongside Wonder Woman and Superman, who
He's
has
like, I was out
stated
here
that
too.
of all the beings in in the known universe, he would be afraid to fight Jean.
And he should be afraid. Superman wouldn't be the first Kryptonian Jean has gone toe-to-toe with. He's manhandled Ultraman, who's basically evil Superman from another universe, and Superboy Prime, who can shatter reality with his punches, and is also evil Superman from another universe.
He took up.
John's just like, I'm out here. What y'all thought this was, fam? You know what I'm saying? When we just used to run around like this on Mars, y'all over here like, he could do this a Tuesday. Nigga, like, what's good, bruh?
Blast from Asmodel, the king angel from a literal army of heaven. He's held his own against Darkseid, the manifestation of tyranny in the DC universe. And he's fast enough to catch up to Supergirl and Superman, who we know flies so fast he can burst the bonds of infinity. So basically, he's just as strong and just as fast as a bunch of crazy gods and demons.
While Jean's strength and speed are obviously very impressive, it's also no secret that his greatest asset is his mind. He's one of the most powerful telepaths in all of the DC universe.
He reads minds, duh, but he can also shut them down altogether. And he once made Mr. Mixel Plexiglass. Mr. Mixed Pickles. Fuck your name, that's whatever.
Oh, dang it. It's Spitalik. Miss Spitalik. I think that's how you did it. All right.
Anyway, he got him to subconsciously say his own name backwards, which God only knows because I can't say it forwards, which canceled out his powers.
His psychic defenses were strong enough to protect the Justice League against a worldwide telepathic attack, and his ability to sense people's feelings is so strong, he can feel every sentient being in the entire galaxy.
And he...
All right, so okay, apparently amongst Martians he is different, as he's a super Martian. He's just not, because I know like they all have telepathy and they could all transform. Well, I don't know, like as far as the comics, I don't know if they could, but I know like as far as from what I know, I'm watching this stuff, that they could all do the transformation and the mind stuff. But it looked like he extra than them. It looked like he extra than them.
He once out-thought Perpetua from the Omniverse. Who's that, you ask? Oh, just a frickin' creator of the entire multiverse. She's basically the god of everything.
Jean needed to connect his consciousness with everyone on Earth before Perpetua could catch up. He pulled this off by using his mental abilities within the span of Planck time, literally the smallest possible measurement of time. In the time it takes you to count to 1, Jean could count to 1 and fly across the universe and back over 200 sextillion times.
He out-thought God. He's a faster thinker than God. And it didn't end there. Jean took a punch from her and walked away with just a bloody nose. And when she disintegrated him into basically nothing, he regenerated back from a hit from God.
Batman has said that in order to kill Jean for good, you would have to literally destroy every single atom in his body one by one.
God damn! If I didn't love alliteration.
Dang, yeah, he built different. Like Cell, eat your heart out.
So much, I'd say we change this guy's name to Martian God Hunter or something. He's basically invincible.
That would be a dope Martian God Hunter. That would have been let's not play with that name real quick. Hold on. Martian God Hunter. That boy would have came to Earth like, y'all know what the business is. Like, yo, that's a dope name. They should have done that.
Right.
Not quite. Jean is not without weakness. He has a very real vulnerability to fire. At times, it has completely overwhelmed him to the point where he loses control of his body.
And not just literal fire either. Jean was once tricked into just thinking he was surrounded by fire, and that was enough for him.
Even still, Jean has been able to overcome this weakness. He's fought enemies with fire abilities and even taken hits from fire attacks, which leads me to believe the weakness, while potent and still able to cause real physical harm, is mainly psychosomatic. What are you doing?
I heard what you said. Weakness to fire is just in your head. I'll be a living god! Another win in the mind column for sure.
Early Martian stories were inconsistent on whether or not his physical and mental, but recent issues have made it clear that it is a especially with the Batman movie where he got made him like sweat the glycerin or whatever.
And to think there's a whole planet of these guys out there.
Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. Before Dr. Erdell's strange experiment, Jean's own brother used the Martians' telepathic connection to each other against them, and the entire planet was plagued with Ronmir's curse.
As long as they stayed telepathically connected, every Martian was vulnerable to a mental fire that would overwhelm them and burn them from the inside out.
Which sadly worked very well, because the fear of fire is something Jean shares with his fellow Martians. Centuries
So is that what it was? They could they really all just be doing like, and they just sitting there chilling on a planet, just chilling. Like if they could, if they could all do what what Jean was talking about, was sound like what the implication. That's wow, just the planet just straight full of guys just chilling. All right.
because the fear of fire is something Jean shares with his fellow Martians. Centuries earlier, the Guardians of the Universe, a group of immortal aliens who run the Green Lantern Corps, feared that the Martian race could become too strong. So they programmed the Martians with that genetic weakness to fire.
Jean was able to survive the fiery curse by cutting off his mental connection to his people, including his family. Unfortunately, his wife, Myria, and their daughter couldn't live with the isolation, and he had no choice but to watch them give in and burn alive. Damn.
Racked with grief and survivor's guilt, Jean was left to wander his homeworld all alone. His only solace being...
So this is, as far as origin stories, like this part, I know just about. Well, not the telepathic fire thing, but always some kind of fire took out the people on Mars, and now he's there. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's interesting getting like the actual original rendition.
Shape-shifting into his lost loved ones to convince himself they were still alive.
Oh my God. Jesus, John.
Wow.
That is so sad.
That pain has undoubtedly shaped who Jean is. In fact, the trauma he held onto so tightly formed a literal spiritual connection with those lost souls. A telepathic connection so strong, it kept them from finding peace in an afterlife. Let me say that again. His grief and telepathy were so strong, he prevented an entire race of people from moving on to the afterlife.
It wasn't until years later that John could return to Mars and release those souls by finally letting go. And not to forget them, but
That boy said, I'm holding on so tight, ain't nobody so allowed to go nowhere. Y'all will exist in the ether around me where I can never see or hear you. They did it by accident, I got you, but damn.
to embrace his new life and his new home, a place he would defend time and time again to make sure the Earth never suffers a fate similar to Mars.
To experience all of that, to truly know what it feels like to be alone in the vast universe, but continue to use your wisdom and power to help those in need, is what makes the Martian Manhunter such a noble hero.
On a planet packed with other incredible heroes, John really has set himself apart. He's risen through the ashes and emerged the heart and soul of the Justice League.
I'm feeling strong about my mans. Let's go. I know we can go see what Silver Surfer got, but I'm feeling strong. I like the presentation. You know what I'm saying? My bet feels safe right now. Let's go. Let's go.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by One Piece on Netflix.
Made by fans for fans, this live-action adaptation of the beloved manga is designed to introduce new audiences
Respect
to the zany pirate
100%.
epic.
31st, only on Netflix. Zen-La, a virtual utopia,
Now this is all gonna be fresh for me as far as Silver Surfer goes.
free from any and all crime, poverty, and disease.
I just know he's like the Galactus Herald from the Fantastic Four movie. That's all I got from him.
Virtual utopia, free from any and all crime, poverty, and disease.
And home to Norrin Rad, which I've gotta say is the sickest, most radical name I have ever heard in my entire life. He was a brainy kid who was raised to live a life of reason and intellect over one of gnarly adventure.
That is, until the technologically advanced society came under threat from the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus.
So Norrin struck up a deal with the World Muncher. In exchange for
The World
sparing his
Muncher.
planet, Mr. Rad offered to leave his home behind, become Galactus's herald, and seek out new planets for him to scarf down.
And what
Not mine. Anybody else's but mine. I mean it literally. For real. I even go scout them for you. I'll go find one right now.
Once Galactus agreed to the deal, he imbued his new herald with the power cosmic, transforming him into the Silver Surfer.
An equally tubular name. 2 for 2. Wow, you rarely see it.
The power cosmic grants the Surfer near unlimited energy, as well as matter manipulation, phasing, super strength, speed, and invulnerability, just to name a few.
The Surfers basically got all of Galactus' space magic, just on a smaller scale, and Galactus uses
Being the first herald, the Silver Surfer has a wider range of abilities than the heralds that came after him. being because Galactus saw how he messed up with the Silver Surfer and was like, all right, we ain't gonna do this again like we did before. All y'all coming in just a little less hot than that.
Is that power to fight guys like the In-Betweener, an abstract being from the overspace.
The Surfer used the power cosmic to serve Galactus diligently for nearly 100 years, during which he ensured that the planets consumed were devoid of sentient life.
That is, until the Surfer accidentally offered up a planet with life, which drove him crazy with guilt. So Galactus tried his best to suppress the Surfer's emotions, erase the painful memories, and make it easier for him to find planets with tasty, delicious life. Guilt-free. How nice of him.
And it worked for a while until the Surfer reached Earth. Galactus's mighty mind manipulation wasn't enough to bury the Surfer's true nature for good. With the help of Alicia Masters and the Fantastic Four, the Surfer turned against his overlord and saved the Earth from being eaten.
But even after all that,
The comic that this originated from implied that the mind manipulation happened shortly before the Surfer reached Earth. It's likely a good amount of time between okay.
Galactus just let the Surfer keep his powers. At any point, he could have just taken them back.
Being the source of the Surfer's powers, yes, he could. But Galactus has continued to let the Surfer have the power cosmic out of respect for his first herald.
Damn. See, that's the kind of respect I'm asking from you. Anyway, ever since those mental gymnastics
Damn.
with Galactus, the Surfer made sure nothing like that would ever happen again.
And he's been successful, like when Psycho Man failed to trick the Surfer with his illusions, or when he was briefly trapped in the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the Mind Stone.
With some of those mental threats behind him, he could finally take to the spaceways, kick ass, and monologue about the meaning of life in the universe.
All of which he's quite good at, especially that last one. It's thanks to the abilities afforded to him through all that cosmic energy.
It's seriously crazy. He can rearrange the molecules of anything he wants into anything he wants. He can force you to just feel pain in general, and he can even control elements. Not just earth, wind, and fire, but anything in a boogie wonderland like gravity and the weather.
He's got enough power and energy.
Yo, okay, wait a minute. All of John's stuff be like internal. You know what I'm saying? This man over here manipulating like forces of physics. Hold on, wait a minute.
You to just feel pain in general, and he can even control elements. Not just earth, wind, and fire, but anything in a boogie wonderland like gravity and the weather.
He's got enough power and energy inside him that he once created an
And yeah, he got mind stuff too. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna check more of these feeds out, but it's all right. We starting getting into an area where I'm like, hold on now.
infant star to serve. Got enough power and energy inside him that he once created an infant star to serve as a new light source in a universe devoid of light.
So just when he needed it, he was able to pop
man
out a
made a
baby
star.
son? That's convenient.
That's the power cosmic.
But we can't forget about the sick board he shreds the stars with. This thing's basically an extension of himself. He can transform it into a sweet sword or into pure cosmic energy. And if it breaks, he can just form a new one.
On his board, the Surfer has traveled at incalculable speeds on multiple occasions. He can fly faster than Thor and even once flew so fast he reached the future.
Even without his board, he once broke free from energy shackles that would zap away his power within the next nanosecond. Gnarly brah, he once outsurfed a wave of universal destruction. He had to surf out of all of existence as it was being torn apart. Now, I've seen some choice waves in my day, but if you ask me, that's one too best for watching on the beach with a brew.
You're, hitting it real hard with all this surfing lingo. He's honestly not that kind of guy at all.
Righteously disagree with you, dude. You are carving up my brainwaves into an A-frame swell that I just can't bail. I'm waxed, man, waxed.
The Silver Surfer is a
Might as well speak in Spanish. What?
tragic figure who is always weighing his choices through every angle of morality. Like when he set out to destroy the new host of the Star Brand, an energy source that grants his wielders virtually infinite power, capable of wiping out all life on Earth.
The Star Brand seems to choose a new unknowing host at random. Could be a good guy, could be the most evil person to ever exist.
So it's pretty much like the opposite of a Green Lantern ring. It's like, hey. Looks like I can make your life kind of interesting. Come over here.
But despite that threat, the Surfer spared the new Star Brand once he found out she was carrying a child.
He decided to bear the weight of any potential consequences on his own shoulders, instead of squashing any and all hope that the child would use that power for good.
I get it. He's a righteous dude on a surfboard.
Exactly. And in the surfer's case, a keen sense of morality also comes with a keen sense of his surroundings in general. He can see enemies even when they're invisible and can sense incoming threats, to the point where he can sense someone approaching even before they've left their own home.
He can also absorb energy his opponents throw at him. Anything from psionic energy to a freaking star. The surfer can even do it when he's on death's door. Hey, Wiz, what do you think the doormat on death's door says? Probably like, knock 'em dead, right?
What are you talking? Now, it does take a lot to get the surfer to death's door. He's taken a blast from the Infinity Stones, survived being smashed into pieces, crashed into the Big Bang, and played catch with a star.
He caught it and then threw it right back at that punk Deadpool. I hope you like a big ball of gas in your face, you tool.
Reed Richards, the smartest man alive, has said
I
the
forgot they
surfer
got
is
their own
probably the
personal
most
stuff with
powerful being in
Deadpool.
all the galaxy.
And even after years spent drifting through the galaxy, he's still built strong bonds, like with the Fantastic Four, the Defenders, and with people like Dawn Greenwood.
But somehow, he always ends up alone in space, searching for answers, searching for beings that need his help, searching for something that could replace the home that he lost all those years ago.
Only to be weighed down by the guilt of his servitude and the pain of his sacrifice, which was ultimately done in vain. Cause it doesn't seem to matter what the surfer does. Zenla is destined for destruction. At this point, his home world has been destroyed 4 times over.
Despite it
Disrespect.
all, this tragic hero still manages
Man, go back and handle them problems,
to take everything in stride as he surfs the stars and fights tirelessly to preserve every being's right to live.
All right. We're gonna have to change bets. I'm gonna feel like an ass when Martian Manhunter win, but we're gonna have to change bets to Silver Surfer. Like, I got the mental stuff, and Martian Manhunter is like, his mental stuff go crazy. I would say like even crazier than Silver Surfer's, but Silver Surfer's like he just got a lot more in the hat. You know what I'm saying? My man, reality bending and shit. You know what I mean? Like, all of Jean's stuff is like, yeah, you have the mind stuff, but other than that, it's more internal. You know what I'm saying? Now, I feel like, yeah, the Silver Surfer could turn Jean into anything, but Jean could turn herself into anything, so he could just, revert back or whatever the hell he wants to do. But I feel like Silver Surfer got more outs than Jean, than Mr. Manhunter. So that's where we at. Want the Martian win, but we believe that Silver Surfer is going to take this one. So be sure to like. Oh, I almost freaking. We move. I almost did my intro again.
This episode is sponsored by Shady Rays.
Son giving you trouble this season? Take it on with gear built to last. Shady Rays
Respect.
Possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Let's get it. It's what we here for.
In all of my journeys, I have never seen anything quite like this.
I assumed your journeys would have made you rather familiar with places like this, Darrnell. Or should I say, Silver Surfer. Now, tell me why you have summoned me here.
Enough!
Martian Manhunter's mind over matter. They really hit you with a sci-fi scene. Yo, the dub's on the Manhunter voice.
Tell me your secrets.
I must end this.
You can dodge a beam, you can dodge a bar. That boy moving. He's zip, whoop, slip, ooh, weave, moving.
There's no use in hiding. I can feel your presence.
You in the beam, sorry. He out here. I'd have shit myself. Homie, y'all whole gas. That was a interplanetary dragon. It slashed the moon or the planet or whatever. It was, yeah. Did he check it for sentient life first? You know what I'm saying? Before he swung that? You know what I mean? Like, homie just did that. Hearing the fire play? The fire play?
Nothing can best Martian might.
Your will is admirable, but will
Gave
alone
up the fire
is
thing.
not enough. Feel the pain.
So I gave you a direct order. You gonna feel this.
You and I possess the same knowledge.
That only one of us can survive, and we know not why.
I hope you can live with the uncertainty.
Victory comes with no certain satisfaction. I may never know why we were made to fight, if violence is ever truly justified. But perhaps there is something worthy in the battle.
Myria.
Something beyond my understanding.
The end. We gotta see the thing close out. All right. You know, we can't just they've got me with that before. I didn't like it. But yep. So I guess I feel like Silver Surfer just have more tools. You just have more tools to get it done with, but they're gonna let us know.
KO! Wiz, what the hell are we doing? Why are we forcing such beautiful souls to fight to the death?
Both the Silver Surfer and the Martian Manhunter were two extraordinarily powerful beings, each with very wide power sets.
So they both had counters for almost everything they could throw at each other. They could both phase through objects, rearrange molecules, and regenerate their own bodies.
But arguably the biggest thing on the Martian Manhunter's side was his formidable telepathy. The Surfer has had his memories erased and his emotions manipulated by Galactus. So it would stand to reason that Jean could pose a mental threat to the Surfer.
But the Surfer has resisted mental attacks many times.
The Surfer is aware of the infinite planes of reality as command beings who can think. Seventh dimension. Okay.
When Psycho Man played on the Surfer's guilt and pretended to be his lost love, the Surfer saw right through it, and he escaped the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the frickin' Mind Stone.
These two could have gone toe-to-toe around the universe for a long time. But when it came down to it, the question was, who had the power to put the other down for good?
They both have some serious healing factors and have come back from basically nothing. But if ending Martian Manhunter meant destroying his every atom one by one, the Surfer has the means to make that happen thanks to the seemingly endless well of energy that is the power cosmic.
It's truly an overwhelming source of unlimited power. And outside of Galactus stripping the power away from him, the Surfer is never without it.
It's like a battery. Even if Jean could drain all of the cosmic energy, the Surfer can just recharge it. And he's used that power to destroy planets, defeat Galactus-level threats, and can basically accomplish anything with it.
While both of these philosophic heroes tend to hold back out of a respect for life, there's obviously no holding back here. And the depth of Silver Surfer's abilities gave him the win.
This Martian was harsh in his mellow, so the Surfer had to wave goodbye. Bodacious Cowabunga Hang 10 Ninja Turtles.
The winner is the Silver Surfer. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year. And click the join button to get new perks and extra content. Planet level members even see death battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
Star guy? I'm not familiar with these guys like that. But alright. Bill Cipher versus Discord. Yeah, we got to see what's up. But hey, that was dope. We watched that dope. Here. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Silver Surfer, he just kind of he had the end tools. Like Martian, Mr. Manhunter, he had the mix it up tools. He had to get it in there with him tools. You know what I'm saying? He had to let's move around, let's do some stuff tools, but he ain't have an end tool. That's what I was seeing when I was looking through this. So yeah, yeah, but this was dope. The fight was epic. You know what I'm saying? They really went there with it as they do. That's the take. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media. And I catch y'all next one, fam. Peace.